up, y'all? It's your boy G, San Francisco Bay Area, California. Aloha. So it's been a minute since I posted a video. My apologies. First off, I just want to thank everybody for tuning in, watching my channel. Much appreciated. I've been spending more time on things that actually manifest into money as opposed to this channel. I think last time I got, about 15 to 20 views. And so I'm not monetized. And I just decided to spend more of my time into things that make me money as opposed to this channel, which doesn't really make me any money, utilizing my time more effectively. And speaking of such, I wanted to discuss the connection between time and money and how effectively managing your time also affects your money. And I got the idea from Anton Daniels. Shout out to Anton Daniels. I'm just going to basically piggyback off of what he was saying and kind of add my own little spin to his idea. Of course, we hear a lot of financial experts. They'll tell millennials or Generation Z about the time value of money and compound interest. They'll talk about how they should start when they're 18, put all this money into their IRA, $5,000, $6,000 or whatever every year. It starts to sound like one of those commercials where, back in the day they had the, donate 5 cents to an African kid and you could feed African kids for 5 cents a day. And, they'll get bombarded with these posts talking about, for $15 a day, if you spend it every day, starting at 18 and up until the time you're 55, 60, you'll be a millionaire. And so they're very well aware of all that. They're aware of the time value of money and compound interest. But what they're really not focused on is the micro effects of money, how it affects us on a daily basis and on a weekly basis, as opposed to like on a yearly basis. The reason why we're broke today is not because we lost our job or we have bad spending habits or, we fail to invest. A lot of it has to do with not being able to manage our time effectively, which translates into money. Guys, do me a favor. If you like this content, go ahead and hit the like button, and that will help me, get my numbers up and ultimately get this content out to the correct individuals so that I can build my tribe. Think about it. We could lose $20. It'll just fall out of our pocket and we'll be mad as ever about that. But if we lose 20 minutes of our day, we won't think much about it. And it's crazy because time is it's kind of like water in a cup. Sometimes you'll be clumsy and you'll drop the cup to the ground, and then all of a sudden the water is just there on the ground evaporating, and you can't get that water back. It's gone forever. So that's how time is. Once you're clumsy and you spill it to the ground, it never comes back. It's gone. Think about it. If you could take the richest person in the world, say an Elon Musk, and if we told him he had 24 hours to live, there's not anything that he could do to buy enough time back. You know what I mean? If that's all he has, that's all he has. A lot of people will spend a lot of money on budgets, digital products. They'll get QuickBooks and Quicken and all this stuff to help them manage their budget, but they won't buy anything to help them manage their schedule. People need to understand that time in and of itself is infinite, but our relationship with time is very finite. On the grand scale of things, our life is represented by a very short amount of time. Like, for instance, if we were to take the distance from here up into the sun and then back, if that was represented by time, our life in comparison to that would be basically a grain of sand. It would be like the measurement, the distance that a grain of sand is. That's so insignificant, guys. There's a saying that goes, even though we can't add days to our lives, there's still opportunity to add life to our days, which I totally agree with that. But in terms of time, this is how I kind of think of things. And I'm not Aristotle or anything like that, but this is how I kind of see things. Time, we can't harvest it, we can only harness it. Meaning, If you harvest something, you have pretty much an infinite amount of it, right? If you plant something in the spring, you'll get your crops, and then all of a sudden you'll have the seeds, and then you could continue to plant that stuff every year and have an infinite amount of food. Whereas time, you can only harness it, which means that you could utilize it to your advantage and take control of it, but you can't get any more of it. The point is this: because we mismanage time and don't manage it effectively, we miss out on opportunities that would ultimately bring us more money. And on the back end, if we continue to misplace our time and not use it effectively, what happens is we start withdrawing and we lose motivation. And then all of a sudden, we withdraw from what it is that was supposed to make us the money. And ultimately, we still lose because you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. For example, just figuratively speaking, if you go to the gym and you think that you're going to spend a whole lot of time doing a bunch of sit-ups to get a six-pack of abs, it's not going to happen for you. Abs happen in the kitchen, which means that you have to watch what you eat. So 90% of your effort is going to be into your food consumption and having a low-calorie diet. Once you get rid of that fat around your belly, then you could actually start to see your abs. And of course, you could do some ab workouts, resistance training, in order to, increase the muscle. But the fact is, there's a lot of people going to the gym that spending too much time on sit-ups, and the sit-ups is not what really does it. And so what happens is they get unmotivated and they quit doing sit-ups altogether because they're not seeing any results. So, that's the same way that time management works. If you're not seeing the results of what you've been doing, if you've been working your butt off and you're not getting any results, eventually you're just going to quit, which is going to ultimately yield the same result. All right, so right now I'm going to briefly discuss 3 things that help manage your time. The first thing is you want to make sure that you adhere to a schedule, right? And there's a lot of apps that you could download. There's one that probably already comes on your phone. A lot of times people don't even touch a schedule until they have to go to work, until they have to log into their Outlook and then see a schedule. On their personal time, they don't touch a schedule. So you use a schedule to basically trim the fat in the extra time in your day and to manage your time a little more effectively. Anton Daniels used a great example in one of his videos. He said that a lot of times we use a GPS, even though we know exactly where we're going and how to get there. We still use the GPS in order to tell us exactly when we're going to arrive and if there's going to be any traffic on the way. And so we use that information so that we could make better use of our time, right? Maybe that'll give us an extra 10 to 15 minutes to do something beforehand or after in the parking lot where we're trying to go to wherever we're going. And that time could be used a little more effectively. You also want to make sure that you're not, overlapping your schedule, just completely overwhelming yourself with putting too many things on your schedule, and will cause you to apologize to this person and that person because you can't make this appointment because you already have this appointment schedule. It's just a mess. You'll find that when you organize your time effectively, it manifests into opportunities to create more money for yourself. You might actually have an opportunity to meet somebody or to do something that would bring you a little closer to your financial goals. The second thing you want to focus on is prioritizing and balancing your load, basically establishing what's the priority. Maybe that's your family, maybe that's your friends, and then going down the line in order of priority, right? Your health, spirituality, then your business, maybe your work, and then other stuff like chores and this, that, and the other. For this, you want to think about that example where they have the jars and the rocks, where if you put the sand in a jar first and you fill it halfway up, you're not going to be able to put the bigger rocks into the jar. As opposed to if you put the bigger rocks in first, which is represented by your priorities, your bigger priorities, then you're able to get lower things of priority, which is represented by the sand. You'll find that once you balance your workload, you'll become a little more stress-free. And that would allow you to stay motivated in order to make more money. And the last thing that I would suggest is to take preventative measures with your time. Basically, for example, if I have a marketing strategy and I know that I want to post something consistently for 365 days and post something every day, then it would be in my best interest to create all that stuff all at once and then continue to post it every day, as opposed to creating it every day and then posting it every day, because I might not have the time to do it one day. So, you know, I could myself or have maybe an assistant post it for me, even though it's already created, you know what I mean? And that saves me a lot of time because I don't have to try to figure out exactly what I'm going to do to, you know, get that stuff posted. So you're always thinking ahead of time. You're always thinking ahead of schedule so that they don't stress you out in the long run. You'll find that when you take preventative measures, you'll make a lot less mistakes and you'll put out less fires, which will in turn cause you to save money. As I get older, I'm starting to understand the value of time and the effects that it has on my life, the effects that it has on my finances, the effects that it has on my relationships, the effects that it has on spiritually, a lot of different things. It affects different areas of my life. But if you're able to harness it and control it, then ultimately you'll have a better handle on it, and then that will manifest into more opportunities to obtain money. And this channel is dedicated to being a good financial steward of money, and of course that relates to your time. Being financially literate and path illumination for sound and solid decision making. I would be remiss if I didn't discuss the implications of not being a good steward of your time and how that affects your money. You want to use your time effectively to maximize and magnify your efforts to live a stress-free life. So yeah, it's not all about compound interest and, you know, investing since you were 18 or anything like that. Of course, all that stuff's important, but just understand that focusing on your time today, right now, on a micro level, days, weeks, that's almost just as important as focusing on it for years. It really is. So don't be a time waster. Don't be a time chaser. Understand that time can never be harvested. It can only be harnessed. Okay? That's all I have for you today. It's your boy G, San Francisco Bay Area, California. If there's something that you want to discuss about time, go ahead and leave it in the comments. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and as always, be blessed. I'll holler at you later. Aloha. If this video was of value to you, like, comment, share, subscribe, and as always, it's your boy G. Be blessed. I'll holler at you later. Aloha.